first, the gun was submerged in water, then it was rubbed in sand. After that, most of the guns either jammed or their cartridges failed to eject, but there was one gun that kept firing without any problem. That gun was the world's most famous rifle, the AK-47. The man who made this gun was Kalashnikov. He was originally a tank driver, but in one battle, his tank was blown up by enemy fire, and his hand was badly injured. While being taken to the hospital, he noticed that the soldiers' guns were not working properly. Magazines got damaged in water, and in cold conditions, the springs would freeze. Such faulty weapons could cost lives. That's when the idea of making his own gun came into his mind. After recovering, he returned to his old machine workshop and said that he wanted to build a new gun. Since he had a good understanding of machines, he was given a small room. In just 3 days, he designed the first AK-47. His hand had not fully healed, so he took help from a few workers. Together, they worked hard and built the first AK-47. Now, it was time for testing. One worker picked up the gun and fired at a drum. The bullet went straight through it. Then he fired again, and every shot hit the target. The power of the gun was proven. After this, Kalashnikov went to the army office to get approval for the gun, but as soon as the guards saw him with the weapon, they arrested him, thinking he was a terrorist. Later, an officer himself fired the gun and was shocked. It was better than all the others, but the rule was that the gun would only be approved if it won the annual shooting competition. The officer called a general. The general also fired the gun and was deeply impressed. He said that Kalashnikov should participate in the competition on behalf of the army. For this, Kalashnikov was sent to the Arms Institute in Moscow, where he was given a separate room. However, in the very first test, his gun failed and was rejected. He felt that his gun was no longer needed. He met the officer and asked to go home. The officer quietly handed him a piece of paper. It said that weapon development was still necessary, so he returned to work. Learning from past mistakes, he built a new gun. 2 years later, the new AK-47 was ready. For the first time, it was fired at a drum, and every bullet hit the target. He was extremely happy. Just then, guards arrived and arrested him for testing the gun without permission. But Kalashnikov was smiling because he trusted his work. He was taken before the general. The general himself was also a gun designer. Kalashnikov dismantled his gun into all its parts within seconds. The general was stunned. He had never seen such a simple and durable gun. He gave permission for it to enter the competition. Now the real contest began. All the guns were first submerged in water and then rolled in sand. Most of them jammed. Finally, it was the AK-47's turn. It fired continuously without stopping. Not a single shot missed the target. Kalashnikov won, and mass production of the AK-47 began. In 1949, when he saw during a parade that every soldier was holding the very gun he had created, his chest swelled with pride, because after so many years of hard work, his efforts had finally paid off.